The Epstein Life Documentary, Episode 1. Our story doesn't begin where you might expect, among the glass towers of Wall Street. No. It begins in a working-class neighborhood in Brooklyn. This is where the future character of Jeffrey Epstein took shape. From the very beginning, he was different. Born into a completely ordinary family, he stood out as a prodigy. Brilliant at mathematics and gifted in music. He was so intelligent that he skipped 2 grades and graduated from high school at just 16. That early image of a quiet genius could not be more different from the man he would later become. Epstein went on to attend 2 prestigious institutions. First, Cooper Union, and then New York University. But here's the twist. He graduated from neither. He dropped out of both without earning a bachelor's degree. And this is where things get truly interesting. Epstein didn't need a degree. He had discovered another path upward. He realized that with intelligence and a certain personal charm, he could bend the rules of the game in his favor. That mix of intellect and charisma opened a door that would change his life forever. The Dalton School. Yes, you heard that right. At just 21 years old, with no university degree, Epstein became a math and physics teacher at one of the most prestigious and expensive private schools in Manhattan. He wasn't just teaching, he was executing a plan. The school's headmaster favored unconventional hires, and Epstein took full advantage. He won over wealthy and influential parents, slowly turning his classroom into a personal networking hub. The bridge he built at Dalton led him straight into the heart of global finance, Wall Street. And this transition wasn't just successful, it was shockingly fast. June 1976, Epstein is fired from Dalton. That very same month, he is hired by the investment bank Bear Stearns. This was no coincidence. It was the direct result of his carefully built connections. The key figure was Alan Greenberg, the powerful CEO of Bear Stearns and a Dalton parent Epstein had impressed. That single connection opened Wall Street's doors. Epstein later summed up his philosophy in one sentence: success isn't about degrees or hard work. It's about who you know. He believed it, and he lived by it. Epstein left Wall Street and reinvented himself as an international and deeply mysterious figure. He began telling people he worked with intelligence agencies to reinforce this image. He staged strange and provocative acts. On one trip to London, he gifted a British arms dealer an anti-riot shotgun allegedly linked to the NYPD. Observers were stunned, questioning how such a weapon even entered the UK. At first, this seemed like myth-making, but later, physical evidence emerged. In 2019, during an FBI raid on his Manhattan home, agents found a fake and expired Austrian passport. The photo was Epstein's, but the name was false, and the listed residence was Saudi Arabia. Getting in was one thing. Staying and rising was another. To survive at Bear Stearns, Epstein needed to prove his value. He did so by specializing in tax minimization, helping the ultra-wealthy legally reduce their tax burden. It was a complex and highly sought-after skill, and Epstein mastered it using his mathematical talent. He called himself a financial doctor, solving problems no one else could. In just 4 years, he rose from an entry-level employee with no degree to a partner at one of Wall Street's biggest firms. The speed was almost unbelievable. But in the 1980s, Epstein made a dramatic pivot. Epstein's lawyers claimed the passport was for protection against kidnapping, but many found the explanation unconvincing. He also held a permit to carry a concealed weapon and reportedly kept a handgun hidden beneath his mattress. These details painted a picture of a man who was secretive and constantly prepared. His network extended far beyond politicians and academics. Epstein was connected to major international arms dealers, most notably Adnan Khashoggi. This placed him at the center of a dark web of power and covert dealings. It is crucial not to confuse Adnan with his nephew Jamal Khashoggi, the journalist murdered in the Saudi consulate. Adnan Khashoggi was a notorious arms dealer and a central figure in the Iran-Contra affair. Epstein's connection was to Adnan, not Jamal. These links lead directly to the central theory: blackmail. The question is whether Epstein used his parties and relationships to gather compromising material on powerful individuals. In intelligence terminology, this is known as compromat, a Russian term for damaging information used for leverage. The theory suggests Epstein secretly recorded his guests, building a library of compromat. Some sources, including alleged victims, claimed he did this for a foreign intelligence agency, specifically Mossad. Those closest to Epstein strongly denied these claims. Ghislaine Maxwell dismissed them outright. The U.S. Department of Justice also addressed the issue, stating in a 2025 memo that no credible evidence of blackmail was found. This creates a deep contradiction between explosive theories and official findings. Then comes the most baffling chapter: the 2008 plea deal. Federal prosecutors had prepared a 3-page indictment full of serious charges. Yet it was reduced to just 2 minor state-level offenses. Epstein ultimately served only 13 months in a local jail. And even during that time, he was granted work release, spending most of his sentence outside prison. 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, Epstein was allowed to leave jail and work from his private office. To understand how such an extraordinary arrangement was possible, one must examine the non-prosecution agreement behind it. The deal was so overwhelmingly favorable that it later became known as a sweetheart deal. And it remains one of the most controversial legal arrangements in modern American history. To be continued.